Okay, I'm gonna show you how I carved, and my nail sat on this hand. I've been loving on this hand. I need to do this hand. I'm gonna show you how I carved this cute heart for my little bangle. I did video it and the angle was all wrong for you to see. So I'm gonna try here. So I took a nail and I full on put the product on it and everything that I'm wearing on this hand to demonstrate. So it's a hard gel over it. So it's a little thicker than just like a thin thing. So you get the idea. I like to use these two bits. So they're diamond. I can link them after this video with like in the description, specifically which ones I'm using, but you basically need some pointy ones, and then I have this really little pointy one that like helps me get that lower little point of the heart a little sharper, just clean up, but you don't have to have that. So this is what I used. And then I'm using my electric file, my Efile, and I'm actually running it fast. I'm gonna run it like at 30,000 RPM. So between 20 and 30,000 RPMs, you do want speed to work in your favor. So a couple things you have to check before you go. With your placement, you need to make sure it's free and clear of skin underneath so that when you poke through, you're not gonna pierce skin in your client. So important. So I'm gonna try to come at it from a side. When I'm working and doing this, I'm straight up above, but see what happens is it focuses on this hand instead of what's happening here. So I'm gonna try to film this, showing you from the side a little bit. So let me get this going all the way up. I'm running in forward. You can run in reverse, whatever you're most comfortable with. Usually my lefties are a little more comfortable with reverse. Now I'm stabilizing and holding it on because this is just a sticky on here, but it should be solid. I've already top coated. Okay, so like the nail is done. Okay, let's see if I can get this angle. So I'm gonna go for 2 holes first, and you don't wanna do it so far in that your ring couldn't reach it. So it needs to be closer to the edge, depending on the size of the bangle you're putting in there. If it's really big, it can be more center, if that makes sense. It's the diameter of that bangle, so. Okay, hopefully I can do this without it just focusing on my upper hand here. So let's go. So I would be coming, just so you know, like this, okay? Straight up and down, but I'm gonna do it a little from the side so that it doesn't just focus on my hand. So I'm going down and I'm kind of testing it for the thickness, and you can just take a little manicure brush so that you have a visual, and then you're gonna have to put some pressure, okay? I think we just pierced through. Yep, we did. Okay, so see how you slide through? That's why you wanna make sure you're not coming in on any live tissue. So there's one hole. I'm gonna do another one next to it. And yes, my skin's underneath. Normally, you're holding their nail like this because they have a finger attached. Okay, try not to let it focus too much on my upper. Oh, it's so hard. I'll come forward a little to go through. There we go. Okay, so we have these 2 holes. Now mine gets bigger the further I go down. So to make the 2 top humps, I'm actually just gonna go through further to make it a little bit bigger. That makes sense, hopefully. And then I'm gonna gently connect them just by pulling to the side a little. Okay, and then I'm gonna start coming down. Now this part is tricky and delicate. See how I basically have this shape here, but underneath it's not? I will flip over, dust it off. I'll like flip their hand and just come from underneath. Just a little. Oh, it's so hard on like a sample stick or a sample little thing. Hopefully though you can actually see what I'm doing so that I can like kind of clean it up from underneath too. And then come at it again from above. It takes a little bit of patience. Oh, we're looking good. You could essentially do a 3rd hole, but like a triangle almost, but I want my point to be a little bit finer. Oh, my computer's going off next to us here. And I felt like I might accidentally just ruin that. So I'm just adjusting the top humps here. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna shift to my smaller one. You don't have to, but I like to, and you'll see that build up on the bit. That's why I have to use a wire brush, get everything off of that before I disinfect. Soap and water. So a lot finer. Okay, let's see if I get this right for you. So I'll kind of check my upper humps and then I just kind of pull it down. And when I don't have a good visual on it, I dust it out. It's like leaning a little bit because I've been pulling at an angle. So make sure you're like this, like straight up and down. But since I'm kind of working at an angle, it's a little bit angled. That looks good. So this is where I go underneath. And you can see kind of just those little lips, and just flat, I'll flatten out because it has extra product and like usually like a little edge of their nail kind of hanging on underneath there. Okay. It helps me to be able to see what's really happening by taking a little cleansing alcohol on a brush and brush underneath and brush on top. And there's your carved heart. So, so cute. So I'll show you on my next video how I attached it to myself. It's a little bit hard on yourself, but it makes it so cute. But you could rock this, like this little carve without any bangle, if bangles bug. I think it would be fun to do a whole tip in it, so maybe I'll play with that next, but have fun.